now we're going to make some caramelised white chocolate fudge. So it's going to taste a bit like the Caramac bars you get in the shop. It's another thing that can be made well in advance, up to 2 to 3 weeks, and it can keep in your fridge and just be pulled out as and when you need it at Christmas. And it's a great alternative to having, you know, your shop bought chocolates or having mince pies in the evening. It's super sweet, it's a real treat, and it is really easy to make. To make your fudge, you need to have a thick bottom pan. Now that's really important you've got a thick bottom pan because you're going to generate a lot of heat when you make this. And if you have a thin pan, all the ingredients inside will burn. Okay, most pans these days are thick bottoms, but just have a check, make sure it's got a good little lip on the bottom of this. Now the only other thing you need to purchase or invest in is a sugar thermometer. Now they sell them in most supermarkets for sort of £10–12. We're going to be using this again a little bit later to make Italian meringue for your baked Alaska. So if you do get it, you get plenty of use out of it for Christmas, and it's great for making jams in the summer and chutneys. To start making your fudge, you're going to have 500 grams of caster sugar in here. You are going to add 380 grams of double cream. Now you're also going to add glucose. You'll normally find this down a cake baker's aisle, and it'll be a little squeezy tube, and this is what's going to give the fudge a super smooth consistency, and it's going to help it set, and it's also going to make it a lot more stable, so it makes the recipe a lot easier to go by. And we're going to use 150 grams of glucose. A good little tip for this is to put it in the microwave for a little bit of time, just to warm it through, and it will start to pour out a bit like honey. If not, you can really battle to get it out of the container. So we're just going to put this in here. Okay. There we go, right. There's our glucose. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put your hob on, and we're going to have it on a low heat initially. And the reason we want a low heat initially is because it's going to combine all the ingredients together before we start to put all the heat through a bit later. If you've never used a sugar thermometer, it's really easy. The little needle in the bottom you need to make sure is in the liquid you're trying to heat up. It normally has a little rest at the back, and you just want to face it towards you so you can see clearly the blue indicator as to how high. This one hasn't got 120 degrees on, which is the temperature you need to take it to. It's got firm ball. Don't worry about that, just take it to exactly that level and you'll have a fudge which is set perfectly. So I'm just going to put this in here, okay? We're going to let this warm up gently. Once it's been on for a couple of minutes, we're then going to turn the temperature up, and we're going to watch the needle go up to 120 degrees. All the ingredients have started to melt together, and you'll see you're starting to get this buttery kind of thick sauce, which is like a honey consistency. That's exactly what you want. When you get to that stage, we're going to turn it up a little bit to a low to medium heat, and we're going to start watching the temperature climb up to our firm ball stage. To set your fudge, you want to pick a deep container. This is a 1 litre Tupperware container, which is absolutely perfect. And all you're going to do is you're going to put 2 or 3 sheets of cling film together, and you're just going to push it in. The only thing with this, make sure you've got plenty of excess around the outside so that your fudge doesn't seep out and set, otherwise you'll never get it out of its container. Okay, so it's going to push it in like that. So we've lined your container, okay, plenty of excess around the edge, and that's ready for your fudge. Now, when the fudge is ready to pour, you're going to have to work quite quickly, so make sure you do have this stage ready to go, but I'll explain about that a little bit later. As you can see, the liquid is starting to bubble, starting to get nice big air pockets starting to explode in there, and the temperature is starting to creep up. Okay, so we're just above 100. Now, when it gets to this stage, you want to turn it down a little bit, all right, just to make sure that you're getting a consistent heat in there and you're not getting little pockets of warm air and cold air, because it's going to unstabilize your fudge. So what you'll find now is it will get thicker very quickly. You're getting bigger air bubbles as the temperature starts to shoot up, and it will eventually start to look a little bit crystallized. So you'll find it will go very thick, very dark, and it will start to take on that nice Caramac type color that we're looking for. This has been bubbling away now for a few minutes. I'd probably say 5 to 6, but always keep an eye on it and always give it a little stir with your sugar thermometer. And you can see now it's starting to take on a caramelized feel. Everything's starting to come together. It's a lot thicker, and you can see that we're at the magical 120 degrees firm ball. Okay, so now this is the bit where you need to work a little bit quickly. You're going to add 76 grams of butter. It doesn't matter if it's salted or unsalted. Okay, and then you're going to start whisking. Now you're going to whisk that in, and what you'll find in the pan is it's going to loosen out the mix again. It's going to become a little bit thinner. Keep whisking till the butter's disappeared, and it'll be a really smooth consistency, and it will start to resemble caramel. Okay, so once all your butter's disappeared, you're really close to the end, so it's really worth the wait. Make sure you incorporate all the butter. It's almost like a butterscotch sauce at this point. Now, what you're going to do now is, one last time, you're going to put your sugar thermometer back in, and you're going to bring it back to that magical 120 degrees. And that is going to absolutely solidify the fudge to make sure it sets. Okay, it won't take as long this time, so always keep an eye on it, but it is more prone to catch, so make sure you're doing it on a low temperature. It's reached 120 degrees again, so now this is the bit you're going to have to work quickly for. Okay, so you want to keep your hob on a low heat. You're going to discard your thermometer. Okay, we'll put that to one side. And now you're going to take 334 grams of white chocolate we have here, and you are going to whisk this in. So once you whisk this in, it's going to change texture very quickly, and you have to work super fast to make sure you get it into the container, otherwise all the fudge will end up in this pan. Okay, so we're going to add the white chocolate to the mix, and now you're going to whisk really quickly, and you're going to see it start to transform from a thick liquid to a fudge. You do have to work super quick with this to make sure it doesn't crystallise or caramelise. And once you've got it in here, you're going to flatten it down with the back of a spoon. Right, and then this, you're just going to fold over the edge with a cling film, and then that is ready. Now you've done the fruit bit, the difficult bit. It's in your container, it's nice and safe. You're now going to leave this in the fridge overnight, and it's going to set, and it's become a beautifully smooth fudge. Okay? So, this is our fudge. It's been in the fridge overnight, and you've got all this excess cling film. So you're just going to pull it out, just like that, and you're going to unwrap it. And you'll find that it's set perfectly. You won't have any problems with that at all. Now, what I like to do is I like to cut this up, and I like to keep it in a kiln jar and keep it in the fridge so people can go to it if they need to over Christmas. You're snacking, or you can put it out with coffee when you have people over on Christmas Day or Boxing Day. And again, it's just aimed at giving you one less thing to worry about. So, nice sharp knife. And the good thing about this is, it is homemade. So you don't have to make sure it's perfectly square. It doesn't matter if little bits break off. It's just a wonderful treat over Christmas. And if you like, you could even make it and use it as a gift. So I'm going to chop this one up nice and rough, because I like it being rustic. There we go. And we're just going to start topping up our kiln jar here with some really generous pieces of fudge. And again, it's a fantastic alternative to mince pies. There you go. So there's your caramelised white chocolate fudge, and as you can see from this yield, you get plenty of it, and there's ample here to keep for 2 to 3 weeks before or after Christmas. So give it a go, and it will give you one less thing to worry about on Christmas Day. Merry Christmas from the old Ken Bar.